Well, 100 subscriptions to my YouTube channel. Didn't see it coming. It's been a long time. And I'm not sure I really expected it. I've not really been working towards it. That's not really why I do it, but very appreciative. I hope you're all enjoying the videos. I've got kind of hooked, so I'm enjoying them. And if you are too, it makes it all the more worthwhile. So, 100 subscriptions, and reached it on Christmas Day, and also held the Phoenix Anarchy Dragon Egg on Christmas Day. So bonus Christmas Day for me. Now this is a long vid, 50 minutes or so, only for the committed, but it's probably got more content than any other video that I've ever had because it's a review of everything. It all started with a little dance to pig step on Nether Anarchy back on the 24th of August 2020. This is footage of my first ever base, which I did vanilla style. Didn't know how to download a hack client, didn't necessarily know what a hack client was. I'd watched FitMC videos, that's why I'd bought Java, but I hadn't figured out how to actually get myself a hack client. Luckily went back to this original base of mine just before Nether Anarchy shut down and was amazed to see it was still there. So this is the sort of second base. I joined a player called jenna, and this is the first base that I really built with jenna. There was another base about 1,000 out from spawn. I joined them there, but then I pushed on and made this. They then joined me, and then we set out in the Nether, vanilla, mining, and I thought we mined forever, and eventually I had to get out of the Nether, man. I need some sunshine. So we were about 30k out, and we established what became known as Terratown 2, although it was named Hephaestus at first, but it was changed because the majority of the group didn't like the name. I think jenna named it, I quite liked it, Hephaestus. But it was changed to Terratown. So this was Terratown, and pretty much for a long time this was my favourite base because I guess it was my first team base with Java, and my first sort of Anarchy experience. I guess you're never going to put that behind you, so it'll always hold a special place in my heart, baby. That's the church that jenna built, which I always thought was very nice indeed. I've been doing all my own building on kind of bedrock on my own, some lonesome, since sort of 2012 on the PS4, and I think just as I joined 1.16 had dropped, and quite a lot of this sort of Nether update stuff had come in terms of new bricks, new mats, and yeah, jenna kind of nailed it really. Really like the sort of matte palette really for that one. So this base was home for quite some time. I made that little enchantment area. I was quite proud of that. Thought it was quite creative in my own little way. And then just down here there's a little potion brewing room, which I was also very proud of as well. They were all firsts, I guess, so it was all new and exciting, and yeah, I guess epic in my mind, and not really at all. Thinking it was 30,000 out and thinking we were safe, and it's hilarious now to think back, but there we are. So the story of what became known as Terratown. There was jenna, M87, Eclipse and we were joined by another guy called John, and it was just us for a good couple of weeks, and we were having a lot of fun. I was making these videos though, so it was exposed. I'm surprised even now that we weren't found sooner using terrain exploit, but then I guess in the context of the bases I've seen since joining Fraternity, and also having the benefit of seeing bases on Nether Anarchy post its closure, I realised this is a tiny little base, even though in my mind at the time it was huge and epic. So yeah, we were having a good time, and M87 and Eclipse logged on and sort of often went off. They went into the nether and got us blaze, and that's how we ended up with Ender Chest. I didn't go to the Nether Fortress, so I didn't go to the end, but eventually I went to the end, and that was what sort of almost brought the demise of Terror Town, I guess, because just prior, I've been chatting with a guy called Jeff2 Extreme and getting on with him really well. He was a loner out in the millions, building his own base, and really enjoyed chatting with him, but couldn't persuade him to come and join us. And if in essence, during the same sort of time period, I started chatting to a guy called Mouty, and Mouty seemed pretty cool, and he liked the videos of Terror Town and really wanted to come and see, but obviously didn't trust in that he'd approached me. Jeff, I was trying to persuade to come and join us, but he hadn't approached me, and I knew he was a loner. He'd shared pictures of his base, trusting that I wouldn't look to do anything. Being a builder, not someone that really looks to kill, grief, PvP, any of that nonsense. I say nonsense, I mean, it's not Anarchy unless you've got players doing that sort of stuff, and that's why I do it, really. The peril. Going on a server, building on a server when you've got those sorts of players around, just adds to the fun, really. So we need all sorts of players on our servers to make them a full and rich environment. So this is a book that I wrote for jenna, which summarised the journey, my first sort of steps in Anarchy on a Java platform, and it's quite accurate. Goes into a bit of detail. Wish I had a copy of it, but obviously can't get back onto Nether Anarchy. RIP Nether Anarchy, still coping. Am I? Yeah, I am. I'm rebuilding Sierra, which is a base that I made. It was my first pledge, sort of frat outpost for fraternity, and that's now being rebuilt on Phoenix Anarchy, and I think that's the key, really. I think when I rebuild that and the old team gets back together for a selfie, that will be closure at long last. At long last. So, yeah, this video is going to take ages. I'm realising this voice commentary, I'm running out of things to say. I'm going to have to take a break, go and have a fag and get a drink, I think. Okay, lungs damaged, alcohol imbibed. Let's continue. So this book takes a while to review, but it's worth a read. Worth a read from my point of view anyway. Might be of interest. So we're going to start a review of all the different bits and bobs that I did. This is the Forge Alliance anvil made with Mousy, who I did eventually invite to join us at Terror Town. Just before that, I'd invited a guy called Jeff2 Extreme. So he did come out from being a nomad and joined us. This is the anvil number 3, called the Ironatop, and it was dedicated to Aura, who suggested it. So the Hephaestus base was renamed Terror Town. I met Sleepy at the Nether Hub, and Mousy arrived, and this is him having a little look-see around. Now, the problem occurs when Jeff and we go and attack a pillager outpost, and we get some totems for ourselves and work up the courage to go and have a go at the end, and we do that, and as we do, we get killed by Spicy, and literally we go through the portal, the achievement drops, and Spicy kills us. It wasn't the first time I've been killed. I think the first person that ever killed me on Nether Anarchy was a guy called Twisted Media, who I still chat to a bit. He plays on Phoenix Anarchy a bit now, but he also plays on other servers that I play on as well. And I mean, there was quite a few others that killed me along the way as well, but in essence, when we went through and it got instantly killed, we noticed that Mousy was chatting with Spicy. He was there chatting with Spicy. Now, Mousy told us that he was exchanging map art and he knew Spicy, but we were very suspicious, and that led to us kind of packing up and leaving, and it really led to the demise of Terror Town. I built this little treehouse base as a kind of decant for everyone, so that if they needed to get out quick, they could. It was about 3,000 blocks away, I think, from Terror Town, and it was kind of bolt hole, really. but it never really got used by the others. I went back to Terratown, but it wasn't really the same, and I left, and then I asked to go back to get some wool from the auto wool sheep shearing place that I'd made, and Jen and I said no, but I did anyway, and then I found that the place was in the process of being briefed, and we fell out, and it was all a little bit untidy, but we buggered off, and we built this little cottage place. We started a little team called CIFTC, which was coming from the Cold Club, and that little cottage was the kind of the place where we would save people from spawn, but the purpose of the group really was to go off and try and build bigger bases and whatnot. But that got incited by a player who I still don't know the real identity of. His Discord does come live every so often, but I'm pretty sure that he's an alt of someone that I may still play with, or did at least still play with, who's still about, but I don't know. Maybe it could be Spicy, could be anyone, I just don't know. There was a suspicion it was a guy called Epist at the time. I don't think Epist hasn't been about, but I don't know whether I'll ever find out. It'd be funny to find out. So my little safe house got briefed shortly after Terratown briefing took place. Finally made the all-in-iron. That got briefed. That all-in-iron anvil was made care of Aura, who donated me all of the iron. And so I'm starting to get a bit tired now of kind of getting betrayed and incited, even though my journey is relatively short, I suppose. It's kind of Terratown disappointment, followed by a failed group, which in hindsight was very easy to incide, and clearly did get inside as well. It only lasted for 6 days. It was good fun while it lasted. Now Jeff invited me to join him at his base in what were said to be the Millions, and we also decided to send our halts off to the border, the world border. This is a quick review of all the anvils that I made. I dropped a video with my review of all these anvils towards the end of the Nether Anarchy days. There was quite a few in the end. I did 6. The 6th one after a guy called ONRX joined and created a fan club, an anvil fan club, completely autonomously of me, and then he got told I made anvils and invited me, and it kind of spurred me on really. So suddenly there was a flurry of activity, and I made quite a few and started to get these kind of guest appearances. So Griffer was my first guest appearance at an anvil, which is very nice of him. Dove even joined the server to come and make a guest appearance, even though he's really just a PvPer and plays on PvP servers, so that was appreciated. Dove love from above. And then by this point I'd kind of made friends with Spicy, and he kindly came along at the last one. Now the Spicy sort of story is quite an interesting one for me. It kind of motivated me quite a lot. So really I kind of introduced Aimshot 500 as a character, purely and simply to try and befriend Spicy. And I guess I was thinking of briefing a base. I mean, I was never going to be able to kill him 1v1. He's probably the best PvPer on Nether Anarchy, recognised as such. And Spicy never took the bait when I kind of eventually revealed it all. He kind of chuckled to himself, I'm sure. So Jeff and I jump on the roof, and as we start travelling, it's quite nice going. And then suddenly roof travel gets disabled, and it was just hell. I can't quite recall how long it took, but it took what seemed like forever. Jeff got there, went overworld, and somehow died. And I don't know what happened, but he ended up back at spawn. He was pretty annoyed. I myself got all the way to the border, opened up the e-chest, and my inventory didn't have everything that I took with me. It was inexplicable. And I threw my teddies out my pram and kind of quit the server. And that was that, really. Left Jeff to himself, and in that period, Jeff kind of this must have been I can't really remember now, end of November, and I kind of didn't play really for December. And then when I did finally come back, Jeff had gone off and started playing another game, and appears to have got so addicted to that he's not ever come back. But I re-logged on and I was sort of playing, but I was out in the millions at this space that was just me and Jeff. I couldn't really bring anyone there because it was Jeff's base, so I carried on building. And I was faffing about doing anvils and bits and bobs as well. So that meant sort of slash killing back to spawn, but I didn't really have any teammates, so it was always a bit tricky for me back at spawn. And in that time I started chatting to a guy called Hunt, and he was very kind, along with a guy called Suko. A number of times came and met me and dropped an e-chest. He even started giving me a bit of kit every so often. I think I lost an elytra, and basically Hunt geared me up completely. And at one point I met Suko, and he I remember that actually the first proper gift I got was from Suko. He gave me this OP netherite pickaxe, and I was like, what is this? And I started like mining with it. I was just, oh my god, this is just off the chart. So that was my first experience of a full enchanted pickaxe with mending on it, and it always changed the game, doesn't it, really? So Hunt I just started chatting with Hunt quite a lot, really. He was watching my vids, I think, and quite liked my little style of play, and started developing a bit of a rapport and a friendship. He did talk to me about possibly joining Frat, and I was like, I'm not really interested. It just seems like every time I teamed up with people, it was what led to fun and games and jiggery pokery. So I ended up buggering off and playing on a vanilla server for a while, and then I got kind of bored with that, and came back, and that's when I built the base that you just saw a little while ago, called the RVB Frat Outpost. That was me agreeing, or coming up with the idea with Hunt, that I'll build an outpost for Frat, but I probably wouldn't stay there. Just as I was doing that, I met a guy called Ramel, and he joined me, and we set off and we went out to build this base. He told me he was a builder, and we got there. His name was Ramon. It reminded me of a football player called Ramon Vegas. I called it RVB, Ramon Vegas Base. RVB for Outpost. I built my first banner replica for Fraternity, which was I think pretty sick, and made that I won't say teacup, it's a coffee cup technically, which I thought was quite cool, and the map art itself was pretty good. Booked it, packed it, fucked off, and that made a few people laugh, so that was pretty cool. But unfortunately, this guy Ramon, all he kept on really wanting to do was for me to show him how to dupe, and he kept fucking up the villager trading hall, which I was slowly working on. Every time I seemed to log on, he'd done something else to take it backwards. So I kind of said, just one day, sort of had it out with him and just said, look, you said you're a builder, you're not building. You just seem to be interested in kind of duping and understanding that from me. And I'm actually getting a bit fed up with it. I'm going to bugger off. And I buggered off. A short while later, I went back, and it had been griefed by him, which I just thought was astonishing. But it is Anarchy, and you just don't know who it is. So again, I mean, the luck of me to find this one guy who wanted to team at a moment when I was going to go and build an outpost for Fraternity was pretty poor indeed, to find that sort of character. But again, it may have been me being targeted by that point, I guess. I just don't know. I don't know who that guy is. The Discord got deleted, and that's the end of that, Never going to find out who that is. So I went off. I did actually go off and start teaming with another guy called Potato, The other base you saw, the sort of wooden barn, if you like, with the auto sort of water, what do you call it, waterfall harvesting mechanism for the carrots. That was a base that I started making. That was actually a kind of that was us sort of as a starter point. We called it King's Cross because we were going to build a railway from there to another location where we were going to build Hogwarts, which has a strange synergy now with our current server's admin's name, and yeah, odd. Anyway, that base, I did share the chords with Spicy, and he did visit. I went back there 3 months on, and was surprised to find it hadn't been griefed at all. But yeah, that was very nice of Spicy, and he'd left all my kind of original tools and stuff there as well, which was sweet. Now this is the base that Jeff and I made, which, as you can see, is pretty nice. I had a quick tour there of the auto storage hall I've made underneath that building. There's an even bigger building behind that actually, which I didn't get footage of sadly, but this is very near the base. I actually found 4 spider spawners pretty close together, which is quite rare. Couldn't ever really show footage of that clearly because 4 spider spawners being so close together, someone could have used the chunk base thingy jiggy that you can put the seed in and locate it. I mean, there wouldn't have been that many instances of it, but and I'm paranoid, you know. I'm kind of out here kind of thinking that anyone and everyone's going to spend time on trying to find me. I now realise how unlikely that probably was. But yeah, there's the spider spawner. I was quite proud of that actually. Didn't take actually that long to build, but I remember having quite a laugh while I was doing it. In-game chatting with Hunt, various other people. It was good fun. Now this was a bit of a meme. There's a guy called Gatto and our moderator Number who are very good friends, and so I did a base hunting video and stumbled across this little love nest, and I posted the video, and yeah, it was quite sad in the end because this was only, I think, 2 days, 3 days perhaps before Nether Anarchy got shut down, and obviously we didn't know that at that point in time. Number actually came and met me on site, and I got a selfie with an alt. So yeah, they must have won a TV show, that TV show Love Island or something. And atop the building, I made a little Garden of Eden for Gatto and Number, and I offered to send cords to people, but told them no griefing allowed, because love is in the air at this place, which I thought was very funny, and I chuckled to myself. But who knows? Who knows? So after the tour of this, Slushy came and joined me at the same venue, and we started having a bit of fun. I'd met Slushy for the first time when I discovered the obby wall around Spawn on Nether Anarchy had been lava casted at one corner. Slushy happened to be around, and he joined me. I sort of got a load of TNT off Griffer and started blowing up the cobble, and then I think Slushy and I might have spent 2 or 3 days mining. We didn't clear it all, but we cleared a lot of it. There was a lot of discussion about it being a very inefficient way of going around things, but we were enjoying ourselves, so it was all good. Anyway, had a lot of fun with Slushy, and then he turns up. I watched a couple of his videos, his videos. He makes very short, very funny videos. Anyway, he turns up, builds this. We build this little railway, and yeah, it was quite funny. Sardoris made this little trailer. Now this is Sierra. Now this was I finally relented and agreed to join fraternity properly, made my application, became a pledge, and was sent off to join an outpost that had been started only a few days before. I arrived and the green sort of pit had been built, not a lot else. And I think everyone would agree, I arrived and it really kicked on apace because I started grinding out and pretty much every stone brick block you can see I placed. Made that chessboard and an auto sorter hall. And, I made the frat banner. Just really enjoying it. I actually, in the end, relented. I was not even playing on Nether Anarchy and met a player called YZ who was playing on Horizon Anarchy, which is a hardcore version of the game. And I'd seen a video that he posted of that and said hi to him in game there. We got chatting while we were both playing on Horizon, and he mentioned that he was actually playing Nether Anarchy and was part of fraternity, and that's what kind of persuaded me. I thought, this is just mad, like, meeting someone on Horizon, and it kind of spurred me on. I thought, well, I've met this guy completely independently of Nether Anarchy, so there's no hidden agendas and all that sort of jazz. So that's when I mentioned to Hunt that I've met this guy YZ and I was going to join. Could I go to the base that he was at? And having known Hunt for, it must have been, it was June when I went, June the 4th, I think. So early June when I joined, and I'd been chatting with Hunt since, like December time, really. So, so he was quite willing to send me off to this pleasure base fairly early on, and I joined there and met up with a guy called Sardorus and Tinmar, amongst others. Tinmar was an impressive builder, and we had a lot of fun. I rescued a guy called Orange from Spawn and brought him to the base. He was very cool. We had a lot of fun having boat races, as did me and Tinmar as well. But this little disco you can see, it was made by Sardorus, who, as soon as I met him at Sierra, we sort of hit it off pretty much straight away. Just started having a laugh. I mean, I like to build, but then I like to stop building and just, have a laugh. And that's pretty much what Sardorus does, and he's always up for a bit of a laugh. So got to know him, and our friendship sort of became more and more through our building of Sierra. But sadly, all good things come to an end, and Nether Anarchy, as we know, reached its own demise, and that was very sad. So we ended up on a server called Durcraft, and we went there probably 24th of June, I think, when 24th of June, 26th, 27th, don't know, I can't remember, 24th, 26th, 7th of June, when Nether Anarchy closed, and we immediately went off to Anarchy. Whoa, excuse me. And we were there. Fraternity went there en masse, but it wasn't quite the right conditions for us. And then we got a message on Discord from Number, and Rawara and Number had sort of found someone who was going to launch a server called Phoenix Anarchy. We were all pretty much committed instantly because it was Rawara as a developer and Number as a moderator. That was the team that worked for Sleepy. And so the journey on Phoenix Anarchy began. We're still there now with a player base growing, over 10,000 unique visitors, but we need more players, and it's quite interesting. So made a couple of anvils straight off, had a bit of an event with Fraternity, built a teacup. Well, they did. I made a little frat cat house just underneath the teacup. That sort of soon got griefed. I did win the first donor feather, which is a competition which is run every month for donors, and I got the first ever feather, which I subsequently gave to my friend Sardorus, which I know he fully appreciated. And then we built a castle near spawn in an hour. That was a bit of a laugh. And I'm constantly looking for ideas to make videos. I'm doing these videos for fun, obviously, but also partly to try and bring a little bit of new player base to the server, do a little bit of promotion. So this is me on a spawn wander, the anvils that I make kind of, made the castle. There's other bits and bobs I do, but it's always a challenge because in the background, I've got, I must have 7 bases now, which are established. I've got a Let's Play series going on in addition. So it's always a shame that you can't really show the active bases, but you can't clearly because these are relatively well-established bases with farms, and they're important. I guess they probably, some of them may get found eventually, and I've got footage of them. I'll be able to release videos, but that's what you have to do. You have to wait for a griefing, which I don't want to happen. So it's a rock and a hard place, isn't it? I kind of love to share videos of these bases because I think that would attract more player base, but by doing that, you're sort of sealing the fate of that base, really. So anvils it is now. This is me arriving at World Border Corner. There's a guy called Spoon did it very, very quickly. I was second, I believe, and that was good fun. Also joined some guys there: Shitty Goblin, Gapple Up Dude, and Gapple Up Vegan, plus the one and only Slushy at a base that Gapple Up made, Gapple Up Spawn base, which was very cool indeed, and enjoyed making this video. I think I got a bit of a fright when I walked through into the room in there, which I think we'll do very shortly. And I'm trying to be kid friendly, and there's map arts on this server, Nether Anarchy server, and now Phoenix Anarchy as well. Pretty much any Anarchy server, I imagine the map arts. Some of them are, let's just say, a little bit hot. Ooh, look, so now censored. Oh. So there's a guy who's part of fraternity called Aris, and I've had a bit of fun with him as well. I kind of meet him at Spawn, whether I kind of drop in quite a lot anyway. He is the most prolific bed trapper on the server. I don't want to guess at how many people. He must have bed trapped 30, 40, 50 people, I don't know. So that was one time when I dropped by and he was mid bed trap. Sardoris and I made a 10k build on one of the overworld highways, which was a kind of few hours work and quite good fun. Made for an interesting vid, and always good fun to mess about with Sardoris as well. So this is it, this little 10k place. Haven't been back there for a long time. I mean, I can't believe it's not been griefed by now. I did go back after a month and I was astonished to find it was still there, but then I started wondering whether actually a lot of people maybe don't travel overworld highways at this stage, because it's not huge numbers. We got up to a top player base at peak of 50 and a low tide of about 25, probably the end of September, but things did start getting a bit more kind of normal in terms of COVID and lockdown all over the world, and I guess maybe that impacted. There's a thought that is, Minecraft servers reached a all-time high during the low of lockdown to an extent, and we've seen a drop-off of numbers. But then again, some people complain it's kind of not, it's a dead server compared to Nether Anarchy, which is going to be for a while, I guess. But the hope is we're going to get the numbers back up. Now, that was a crafting table replica I built, but then I found out it had been found and was going to get grief, so I then went back with Slushy, and as you can see, I burnt it. But I made another one. A guy called Francie Frankie liked it, and I made one in honour of him. He's a fraternity guy who was he was kind of, well, there was 3 guys that were kind of not founders but were senior frat guys that were involved with Sierra that I got to know. It was Alakath, Scout Tiger, and Francie Frankie, and they were very cool. And so I made that crafting table in honour of good old Francie Frankie. So eventually got round to making Terror Town 2. So this was a kind of not faithful remake Terratown, and I'm made in the image of, if you like. It's got the spiral stone stair that goes round and round and round, and it's got a church. I don't think it's quite up to jenna standard, but yeah, I made that, and it was the same chords from Nether Anarchy, and so that was only 30,000 overworld out and on the roof, a couple of thousand really, 2,000 or 3,000, and it's quite close to spawn. Now, what actually happened was, because I made that with Mousy, and he's Venom Force, we kind of made it a kind of joint Venom Force and Fraternity base, and for a while there we had a great time. There's this guy called Earl, who is just the most incredible redstoner I've ever met, and he made like a casino, loads of games, but everyone made builds, and it was just such a nice little place, and it actually was really active for quite a while. I think because it was so close to spawn, it brought back a bit of danger, and it was a bit exciting. Unfortunately it did get grief, but I guess that was going to be inevitable in the end. It's just sad that it was the worst grief that's ever graced any Anarchy server ever. I don't know who this guy was. Suspicions it was an alt, but who knows? Who cares? It's ancient history now. This was one of Earl's games, Connect 4. Played that quite a few times. Really good fun. Unbeaten apart from by iCat, and I was going to have a rematch, but we never got around to it, and it got griefed. So I did a Spawn Wander video fairly early on. I did another one, as you can see now, on the 28th of September. And it's interesting to me, these Spawn Wander videos do really well actually. They get a lot of views, so I don't personally understand that. They're not the ones that interest me the most. Like when I re-watch my videos, which I do from time to time, they're not the ones that I would pick out. But yeah, I guess that's Anarchy communities. That's what I want to check out. How is Spawn? And maybe looking back at Spawn, if you can put Spawn and that sort of stuff, then it's quite nice to look back, because it has been damaged quite a lot since the opening of the server. So here's a bit of a flyby of the teacup above Spawn, which Fraternity built. You can see it's got some holes in it there. It's got a lot more holes in it now, I can tell you. Now, I met this guy called iLove. He was introduced to me by Number, whilst Number's a moderator, is also part of Fraternity. Has to kind of keep those two parts separate, even Sleepy used to like to play in game, but not abuse his kind of his admin status. Well, Number's free to play and be a moderator as well. What a good moderator Number is as well. Anyway, Number introduced me to this character iLove, and asked if iLove could come to Terratown too, which I sort of said yes to after visiting this place that he built. He built it in a lava cast at spawn and called it Vault 69, and I was kind of blown away that someone would invest this much time at spawn, had survived somehow. I reckon he must have good chat, talked a lot of people around. The goblins were kind of camping, and Gapple Up parents were camping. I think he must have kind of befriended them all. I know the goblins built a room in this place, so somehow he got them on side and they left him alone, maybe even afforded him a bit of protection, I don't know. But yeah, this place was good fun. I really enjoyed it. But this player did log on and was sort of bullying iLove, who wasn't geared up on the stage. So Slushy and I turned up and killed this guy a few times, and inevitably at one point logged back on and Vault 69 and grief. You kind of, I think iLove gets it, more than gets it. You expect that to happen if you're going to invest such time, but it's so cool to do that. So back to Terratown 2 and Earl's Casino. He called it his test casino because he was testing things out. But there was Connect 4. There was a kind of, I forget what the game was called, but it's like this speed running game where you have to dodge the blocks. Spleef, where you mine out and fall down, but it automatically replaced the blocks, which is just like magic as far as I'm concerned. I don't understand how you do that. There was a roulette wheel that worked. You placed it on red or I think it was red or green, and you'd win or lose. Was it? No, it was black and red, and yeah, it was black and red, and there was a green as well. Anyway, there was a double up game that you kept doubling up. There was Double or Nothing, which is that one that you can see right now. There was a card game called Uno, which I didn't really know how to play, so it was a bit confusing. And there was another one as well, which I never really got my head around. But he was going to be building more as well, which was amazing. Now this is Aim Shot arriving at World Border Corner number 2, and building a banner there, which was quite good. This is footage now of Terrortown post griefing, and I think you'll pretty much see quite quickly that it's a pretty bad grief, really. I mean, that's an average lava cast, to say the least. They didn't obviously have any TNT because all the builds are pretty much still in there, and most of the kind of valuable materials were stolen. So whether or not it was an alt or not, I'm not sure. It rather suggested maybe that player was new and needed the stuff. It could have very easily just happened across the nether portal. Hopped onto the roof and sort of, walked away from spawn and then did at go to nether portal, and he could have locked onto it, I suppose. So who knows? Anyway, this is a cauldron replica which Sardoris and I built. Sardoris kindly did the replay mod for me, which I need to look into getting that ready. It looks very nice, especially as well. Yeah, so this is this is a lava cast that a group called the Illusionists did, and well, it's one of my favourite videos, which I made completely spontaneously.
Yeah, you might not believe in the reptile people, but I tell you, the reptile people, they be very real. You need to watch out for the reptile people coming up from under the ground and taking over the world, man. Yeah, never can. This is the logo of the group called the Illusion Clan. The Illusion Clan, they turn up out of nowhere, and they already have a honor.
And I simply flew over the lava cast, saw what I thought looked like a lizard's face, and that gave rise to me doing a Chinese accent and that little skit, which I don't know. Anyway, this was Fraternity doing a Spooky Savannah 2 event. Spooky Savannah, the first one, I didn't make it 2, but that was on Nether Anarchy and goes down in lore legend. And this was a pre-event video. I didn't make the event either on Phoenix Anarchy in the end, and the eventual builds that complemented these original ones, or these early stage ones, were insane. But by all accounts, it was a lot of fun. And just ahead of this event, some big drama. A guy called Tyrannus, the leader of Venom Force, who had the dragon egg for Phoenix Anarchy, had been doing people a favour and letting them hold the egg for the achievement. He'd done this with a few fraternity people, and he gave the egg to Lotion, who's one of the founders, and Lotion decided that he wasn't giving it back, basically, and this has caused a schism between fraternity and Venom Force, quite rightly, I suppose. But each to their own. Lotion has his own mind and has chosen what he wants to do, and he has the egg. So, what was quite funny in a video that PhD posted, he came back for the Spooky Savannah event, and in that video, he throws a chicken egg at Tyrannus, and that's a bit of a Bit of a piss take, I suppose, but quite funny. Made me laugh. I'm sure it makes anyone laugh who's not incensed about the theft of the egg. There we are. Now, this is this speedrunning game that Earl had made at Terrortown 2. So, sorry for the slightly jumbled up footage here, but this video's taken it out of me. It's taken an awful long time to pull it all together, and now the easiest bit is really this voice recording, but even that's gonna be me rambling on for an hour. So I do have verbal diarrhea at the best of times, but even I'm struggling now at kind of what now I must be 45 minutes in, and it feels like I've been talking for 4 days. So maybe I should do some impressions or something to sort of mix it up. This was a PhD event. PhD's quite busy real life and can't play as much just now, and so Fraternity came together and built this obsidian yacht, and I'm told that PhD his favourite film of all time is Titanic, because he I think he must be a little bit soppy. Anyway, he wanted to do a remake of Titanic, and of course asked Number, who by this point is slipped into Gatto's skin, which is weird but oddly nice, and PhD to commit rosicide, and there was a little tomb created there in his honour. Now, here's one of Hunt's many bombers that many of us assisted with, and that's me having a good fun time going up and down in one of the bombers. Now, we have bombed the hell out of Spawn. Spawn is a bit of a mess really for such a young server. Having said that, swings and roundabouts. Nether Anarchy, terrain was easier to escape, but there were more players trying to kill you. I joined on the 24th of August, 2 months in, and there were definitely more players that were there to kill you, whereas the terrain is quite difficult to escape on Phoenix Anarchy. So, aim shot 500, one of my alts is on the roof heading to Nether World Border, which is 30 million. I've only done 10 million, or I've done 10 million now actually. On Christmas Day I made a Christmas tree, and this is footage of me getting the achievement, because Lotion kindly let me hold the egg. And so that brings to an end my review of my hack client Anarchy Java journey. So it just remains for me to say good morning, good evening, good night, whoever you are, wherever you are, fare thee well.